Welcome to Truth Talk with Ed Skipper every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Do you know what God has promised to those who, instead of being anxious, will pray and present their petitions with thanksgiving to the Lord? He's promised this. Listen, this is amazing. Philippians 4:7. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Brothers and sisters, you can have that peace which is supernatural and beyond human explanation. I remember I was pastoring in Lebanon and someone made a request of me, and I didn't feel good about granting that request. But I was concerned that telling this person no would really harm our relationship. So I stewed about it. I lost sleep over it. It was occupying my mind and my heart. And I distinctly remember one morning walking from the parsonage where we lived over to the church, and I realized that I was owning something that God had not given me to own. I was owning this person's response. My only job was to discern what the will of God was as best I could and do that. And when I realized that, I released the situation to the Lord, and immediately the peace of God came upon my heart. It was such a contrast to the stewing that I had been doing. Didn't mean to throw that rhyme in there. Stewing that I had been doing. The peace of God, which is supernatural, will amaze your friends and your relatives and your neighbors as you go through difficult circumstances, and they may ask the question, how can they have peace in this situation? And the answer is, it's supernatural. It's from God. Paul says that this peace will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. Guard is a military term. I want you to think of the game of Risk. You're playing Risk and someone wants to attack a country that you're on. But on that country, you've got dozens of troops. You've got cavalry and artillery worth 5 and 10 troops each, and you've got dozens of them, and you are impenetrable. And that's the picture we have here, is that God's peace will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. What a beautiful thing. Now, if you're listening to this on a podcast and you're willing to give it a 5-star review, that'll help others grow from these devotionals. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe and hit that bell so that you'll be notified of new videos that come out 3 times a week. And if you're watching this either on Facebook or on YouTube, I'd love to hear from you this. Have you had an experience where the peace of God supernaturally guarded you? It amazed you because it's the supernatural peace of God? We'd love to hear about that, so please share it. Until next time, may the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus.